Are you on food stamps? Are you on CalFresh? Are you on government assistance to feed yourself, your babies, your family, or other? If so, let me ask you a question. Now, this is a serious question. What would you do if one day it was all gone? I watched a video today where they were speaking in Congress about allowing and passing a bill to allow specific states to completely decide whether or not food assistance is gone. I'm going to put in just a little bit of the video. What do you think about this?
To be crystal clear, what this bill did was create the potential for SNAP programs to no longer exist in any shape, form, or fashion in terms of providing SNAP benefits in states that could not afford to or chose not to, for whatever reason, meet the cost share. Is that a fair assessment of that, Ms. Green?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bivens?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
I almost just want to sit in silence to let that sink in. The United States of America just signed into law a bill that will allow states, essentially, to determine whether or not they will provide food assistance to anyone, federally funded food assistance to anyone. That would include children. Is that correct, Ms. Bivens?
Absolutely.
That would include disabled individuals. Is that correct, Ms. Green?
Yes, if they no longer operated a program.
That would include homeless veterans. Is that the case, Ms. Smith? Or would there be some exemption for that?
That's our understanding, yes.
That's a sad day.
So now that you've seen that, I'm going to ask you again. What would you do if one day you woke up and it's completely gone? Now, we've all been there. We've all had to deal with a lot of different situations where we had to budget and deal with not having enough to feed our family and stretched our money and had to eat beans and rice and so forth and so on. Or at least I've been there. Still am. With that being in mind, comment below what your answer is. What would you do? What are you doing? Are you preparing? A lot of Americans are going through massive hardships nowadays with everything that's going on in the economy. I mean, $60 nowadays can't even get you a loaf of bread and then some. It can, but it has to be all the food that's heavily processed, got massive chemicals in it, and honestly make you sick. Okay, so there is a better way. Yes, it's going to be harder, and yes, you're probably going to have to make some extra cash on the side or get a second job or even a third job if that's what it takes. But ask yourself, what are you willing to do? The government is trying to take away, or I wouldn't say the government, the specific people are trying to take away the funding and, the assistance for those who are below the poverty line, those who cannot afford. Being on a fixed income, there's a lot of people who can't even pay $500 in rent, let alone $500 to $600 a month in groceries. Okay? Because when I went shopping the other day, it was only $609 for the week. That was for 1 week for my family of 4. Okay? And yeah, that was including, laundry soap and toilet paper and all the other essentials that my family uses. But is there a better way? Yes. But what are you willing to do about it? So there's multiple ways that you can go about this. You can budget better, get a second or third job. You can start saving, putting up a pantry, making sure that you have that emergency food just in case, canned foods, flour, rice, etc., which in my opinion, every home should have at least 3 months of food stored just in case, and if not 3 months, at least a month, okay? And if not a month, at least a couple of weeks, if nothing else, okay? So it's going to keep coming back down to, what are you willing to do to ensure your family's safety? And like I said in my other videos, it's not just you making sure that you have emergency food. It's making sure that you have legal protection, spiritual protection, financial protection, etc. What happens if your car needs to be fixed all of a sudden? Do you have the savings to fix it? Do you have a credit card to do that? Do you see what I'm getting at? And this is where, when my family was betrayed by our family, we were able to dig ourselves out of that hole because I had a lot of savings, because we had thousands of dollars in the bank. If it wasn't for that, we would have been on the streets almost instantly. If I did not have proper credit, I wouldn't have been able to buy the RV. If we did not have the vehicles, we wouldn't have been able to move our stuff back and forth. Do you see what I'm, and if I didn't have the homestead that I had and I didn't have the emergency pantry of food and whatnot, my family wouldn't have been able to eat during this whole transition. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Luck favors the prepared, and it was only because I ensured that preparedness is why we survived the heartache, the struggle, the physical pain, all of it, okay? So I want to share with you the ability, that the knowledge that it does not take thousands of dollars. It helps. It sure does help. But it does not take thousands upon thousands of dollars to ensure your safety, to ensure the ability to feed your family when needed. It just takes some brand new skills. Skills that our ancestors knew. Skills that I really do want to start teaching y'all, okay? Jarring your own food, canning, pressure canning, storing your own food. You'd be surprised the amount of food that Americans waste is ridiculous. The amount of food that my family tries to waste is ridiculous. And I'm telling you right now, they know better. They know not to throw away our chicken carcasses. You know why? Because that chicken carcass can make a delicious chicken soup and stock. So why would you throw that away? It's laziness, in my opinion, and all it takes is relearning what our ancestors tried to teach us. Simple skill sets to ensure that survival during that cold winter. You get my drift? Okay. Making sure you have anywhere, in this economy, I would say $1,000, but between $500 to $1,000 saved out of the bank, not in the bank, out of the bank, to ensure that you have backup to barter with, to ensure that you can get your car fixed, tires for your car if it needed, food, whatever the case, or a plane ticket somewhere out of the place. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Okay, learning how to properly budget, going grocery shopping. There's a lot of people that don't know how to go grocery shopping, like a lot. There's a lot of people that will go grocery shopping and just buy chips and sodas and junk food instead of actual food that's going to feed their family. Learning how to properly cook and make the right types of food that feed nutritiously, not just, fill the stomach. Your body needs energy, especially when you're doing hard physical labor. And when it comes down to the kids, they sit there and say, oh, I miss my snacks, I miss my candies, I miss my chips, I miss my drinks. Okay, there are healthier versions that you can make at home. Believe it or not, making everything at home is a lot cheaper and healthier for you. You don't become a crunchy mom all because of all the chemicals and stuff. No, it boils down to what is right the right way. You do not need to buy all this crap to be able to live and enjoy some good homemade gourmet food. You do not need to break the bank just to enjoy a good chicken Alfredo. If you have the right ingredients with the right timing, it comes out beautifully. And guess what? You get to jar the remainder of the sauces, or you get to seal it and put it in the freezer for later. That is proper preparing and proper budgeting. That is being a proper wife, mother, and even a father, taking care of their family. Your wife is not always going to be able to cook you a dinner. It'd be nice just to go grab in that freezer and it's all done. You just heat it up. You see what I'm getting at? All right, so if you guys are interested in this, I think I'm going to start a new series in this on how I budget, how I store my food, how I keep it, and how I cycle it so that way we use it as we go, but then we put it right back. So that way it keeps it fresh and it keeps it going. In this day and age, we got a depression, people, coming. It's coming. We have a new modern depression coming. And unfortunately, if you're not ready, you're going to get, just like our ancestors, you're going to get left behind. You're going to be starving. You're going to be turning into that survival animal. And you're going to start hurting, abusing, and doing whatever you have to do to survive. And that's when the animal, that's when the beast, that's when shadow comes out. And we don't want that. Luck favors the prepared. When you're ready, you're ready. And I'm not just talking about food. I'm not just talking about making sure that you have backup electricity or gas or anything like that. I'm talking about being really ready for those so-called end days, okay? And you can quote the Bible, you can quote the Quran, you can quote the Torah, you can quote Sumerian cuneiform, for all I care. Being ready is a good thing, because in this day and age, anything can happen. Anything. Even when I had my home of 30 years, we went through our struggles, but guess what? We got through it because I was ready and prepared. We went one time, the electricity was out for almost 3 months in our valley, in our mountains, because there was a huge fire. I forget what fire it was, but the electricity was out for 3 months. We had to constantly run the generator to run the well to get the water, and sometimes that didn't work, so we had to go buy water. And we were limited on how much water we could get because there was other people that needed to get it. There was no local water source, okay? Whereas like in Arizona, they have local well pumps and whatnot. Okay, so bottom line, you have to be ready. So if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll start a series and let's prepare together. And I'm not talking about like, doomsday preppers or anything like that. I'm talking about real modern life, having to prepare to protect your family in all contexts. Not just food, not just physical, being able to run if you have to run. I'm talking about properly preparing, keeping your vehicles ready, keeping your maintenance going, making sure you got bug out bags, because you never know when you're going to have to leave. Because like I said, living in a valley for 30 years, I have learned that there are some times when you just have to leave for a while. Okay, and it's usually because of fires or whatever the reasons. You have to protect your children. You have to teach them proper survival skills, and so forth and so on. So, like I said, if you guys are interested, let me know, and I will teach you everything I know. I am 41 years old, and I've been doing survival for a good, I'd say 26 years, okay? So I'm telling you, I've got the skills. If you want to learn it, let me know. Thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you want a specific video on how to jar, sausages, hot dogs, potatoes, whatever the case, make sure you comment below and let me know, and I will give you a shout out and we will get that video made for you. And let me tell you something, I don't just know how to do all these other skill sets. I know the law. I know courts. I don't know all of them, but I know the majority of it. I know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done. I know Social Security. I know food stamps. I know because I've been there. I've done that. I've rambled long enough. I've got a lot more to say. Comment below, what would you do if all of a sudden your assistance was removed and you no longer have the ability to feed your family? You're going to go to food banks? You're going to beg your neighbor? Are you going to steal? What is going to happen? These are questions you need to ask yourself before they actually happen, so that way you can start preparing. The only way your mind is going to accept what's going to happen, and the only way it's going to manifest into this world, is if you actually create it and plan it out and balance it out. The yin and yang, you need to bring that triangle into reality and balance it out. Okay, so God's up here, we're down here, we're right in the middle. See what I'm saying? The good and evil right in the middle, and God's right above us. Okay, so until next time, peace, love, and light. God bless you. Honor the path.